We're going to bring in two guests to talk about this story. Nigar Alpadaray is a Member of Parliament in Azerbaijan, and Arsen Karatyan is Editor-in-Chief of Alik Media and a former advisor to the Armenian Prime Minister. Thank you both very much for joining us on Al Jazeera. Nigar, if I can begin with you. Armenia is calling for a complete withdrawal of Armenian forces from Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenia says it doesn't have any there. What proof do you have that there are Armenian forces there?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's like the whole situation over Karabakh. First of all, I would like to kindly ask you not to use the word Nagorno-Karabakh. We don't have such a region. The region is called Karabakh. It's the internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan. And unfortunately, the problem is that this whole situation, which is called occupation of Azerbaijan's land by Armenia, it's a kind of a tumor on Azerbaijan's body. Because 30 years ago, Armenia occupied land of Azerbaijan, piece of Azerbaijan, and kept it under occupation for 3 decades. In 2020, Azerbaijani army kicked out most of the occupying army, but remnants remained. And despite the fact that the trilateral statement clearly stated that in parallel with Russian peacekeeping forces, military contingent getting in, Armenian army should be withdrawn from that territory. But right now we have 10,000 Armenian soldiers on the territory of Azerbaijan.
What proof do you have that they're there, though?
And
because Armenia says that there are no troops stationed there.
We have photos. Just recently, we had seen a guy, Armenian military conscript, who openly admitted on Lachin border to our TV channels that he was serving his time as a military man in Khankandi, and which makes him a part of Armenia's occupational army, So this whole discussion is nothing but lie from Armenian side. So we have lots of proofs that they are there, so whatever they call them. And the problem is that they do lots of provocations. We still find mines and weapons on our territories. We find mines that have been brought there and that have been produced after the trilateral statement, after 2020 war. What does it mean? It means that Armenia is still doing provocation. Armenia is not interested in peace talks, and we have lots of proofs, videos, photos, whatever you have. This is the reason that we are having today. We had 7 people killed as a result of mine explosion. All civilians. They've been constructing the road to integrate the whole region.
Okay, I'll bring in Arsen now to talk to that point specifically. Arsen, there's an accusation there that civilians have been killed. What do you say to that?
Thank you for having me. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm not going to address every single point that was made. The one clear and simple thing is that there are simply no military forces from Armenia in Nagorno-Karabakh, and it's well known for everyone. There are Russian peacekeepers. There is quite a tight control by Azerbaijan, as for the last 9 months, your government, Nigar, has been blockading the Lachin corridor. You have imposed new basically function for people to move around. You have been knowing every single person who have been going out and in, most of them not going in, but going out with the Red Cross just because of their health conditions. Even with their health conditions, you've been arresting people and taking them to Baku. Everybody knows this. So now you're talking about some 10,000 people in Nagorno-Karabakh. 10,000 people of Armenian military being there is not even funny. I mean, I don't even know how to address that. Now, with regards to mines, yes, there are mines. Unfortunately, this is post-war. And I think that, as you know, Armenia has given whatever maps it had on the mines so that the demining situation goes on. On the other note, you're talking about the peace process and Armenia being the destructive side. Armenian Prime Minister has been yelling out of his head, talking about the peace process. Armenian Prime Minister has been talking about recognizing even Nagorno-Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan. Armenian Prime Minister has been following every single point by the book, whatever has been agreed to this point. And one more thing, and I'll stop there. I have a feeling that this attack comes by Azerbaijan just before the United Nations General Assembly is about to come around, where Foreign Secretary Blinken was supposed to meet with the foreign ministers of Armenia and Azerbaijan. And my feeling is that you're trying to change the situation on the ground by killing innocent people, civilians, including children, as right now as we get the reports from Nagorno-Karabakh.
Nigar, can I let you respond to that? Yes, of course.
It just appalls me how Armenian side likes to play victim. Always it plays victim. Now, Karabakh is Azerbaijan's internal part. It's internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan. I am telling you that we have military men, Armenians, confirming that they have been serving in Khan Kendi. We have videos of that, dozens of videos. You can check Twitter, X platform. Moreover, territorial claims of Armenia towards Azerbaijan are mentioned in Armenian constitution, in its declaration of independence. It has been confirmed by Armenian Constitutional Court. So Prime Minister Pashinyan can say whatever he wants. Unfortunately, he says one thing. He says that he recognizes Azerbaijan's territorial integrity. Then he sends congratulatory letter to separatists in Karabakh. He supports openly, directly and indirectly finances Karabakh separatists, these warlords, these criminals there that are keeping Armenians of Karabakh as hostages. This whole manipulation like blockade, as you are saying, so-called blockade, it was not blockade, it was self-isolation by these leaders of separatists supported by Armenia. You know why? Because they wanted to keep hostages of Armenians. They don't want integration of Azerbaijani. They don't want integration of Armenians to Azerbaijani society. We are decisive to enforce Azerbaijan's constitution over all of its territory.
Okay.
And if you care about Armenians of Karabakh, you should let them integrate into Azerbaijani society. We guarantee all the rights to them as per Azerbaijani constitutions, as all the other nations living together in Azerbaijan have. They will have much better life when this happens. The only problem is that these militants avoids that. The main obstacle for that is militants supported by Armenia's government, by Prime Minister Pashinyan.
Arsen, what is your response to that?
I mean, we can get into the ongoing, endless discussion on history. I can address to your own independence declaration, where you actually announced yourself as part of the Musawafit Azerbaijan, which does not have Nagorno-Karabakh in it. You know better than myself that Nagorno-Karabakh has never been part of independent Azerbaijan. You know that Nagorno-Karabakh had a special status during the USSR.
Open maps presented to UN. Open maps and see where Karabakh is.
You're still keeping prisoners of war from the 44-day war, who you probably are continuously harassing and putting them in front of the camera so that they can give you whatever you want to. You kidnap people on the border. I mean, you want to go into this back and forth. I right now am seeing people are starving. People are deprived of food, even after your government came across with
Azerbaijani trucks with supplies were waiting at Agdam Road to let in. You have blocked them. Armenian separatists have blocked them. This was not so-called blockade. It was self-isolation, purely political one.
How are we self-isolating ourselves? So you think people and children want to kill themselves? People are killing themselves just because they don't like to, they like to die? I mean, what are you talking about? Safe isolation? I mean, you're blocking...
Let's come to the international law. Please, we can say many things. We can be all emotional. I mean, both sides have their own... But let's speak international law. International law says that Karabakh is a part of Azerbaijan. There is a reality on the ground. But what Armenia tried to do, Armenia was trying to win time all these 3 years after its defeat to strengthen its army in Karabakh, which hasn't been withdrawn there, in a hope to bring it back. I don't really know what hopes are, because it's absolutely unacceptable situation for Azerbaijan. We will never compromise our piece of land. You should have been already known, you should have known that. And again, I don't want to go emotional. Let's please, because people are watching us. What international law says that it's unacceptable that Armenian army is in Karabakh. It's unacceptable that we find landmines produced in Armenia in 2021 after the war, after trilateral statement. It's unacceptable that today we lost 7 people, 7 civilians lost as a result of mine explosions. Is it acceptable for any country in the world?
It's unacceptable that you're attacking and shelling our civilians, your civilians, if you call.
It's absolutely clear. I'm sure that our army will act in a surgical way. You know, they are targeting only military targets, only military infrastructure. They will never touch civilians. And our Minister of Defense was very clear about that with their statements. We are not touching civilians, absolutely not. Armenians of Karabakh are Azerbaijani citizens. We are giving them all the rights within the framework of our constitution.
Can you just let Arsen jump in here? Thank you.
Yeah, if I can add at least something, right? I mean, how come the civilians are dying then? If you're talking about the integration, maybe you should stop shelling or continuously humiliating those people. Maybe your state television should stop calling them animals and cats and call them all kinds of different things that you can adopt and reintegrate. Forced integration is not integration. Our understanding is if we actually genuinely want to have some kind of peace in the prospect, there must be a dialogue where the parties should engage. And I believe personally that the Armenia-Azerbaijan peace, if it ever occurs, let me finish, please, the Stepanakert-Baku dialogue should be in place. Now, at this point, when you've pretty much starved the people, you brought them to the point where they couldn't get medical treatment, you brought them to the point where they basically have nowhere to go, they feel claustrophobic.
This is not true.
Now, because
Azerbaijani tracks they're waiting at the road, at Agdam Road. They weren't let in. Please, I want everyone, don't mislead people. Don't mislead people who will be watching this program. We had our trucks with supplies for days waiting to be able to enter this territory.
We're going to have to leave it there, but we really do appreciate your time.
Political manipulation.
Nigar Apadarai, Member of Parliament in Azerbaijan, and Arsen Karatyan, Editor-in-Chief of Alik Media and former advisor to the Armenian Prime Minister. We really do appreciate your time and appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.